Well, welcome everybody to another great episode of Playing with Perspective, the Suspended Animation Podcast. I have a wonderful guest, Chantal Gerardy. Is that how I pronounce your name, Chantal?
Yeah, 100%. You nailed it.
I got it right. And Chantal is a Facebook expert. So it's going to be a magnificent episode, and I'm sure it's going to answer loads of questions that everybody has. So who is Chantal? Chantal has a diploma in social media marketing and is an award-winning Facebook strategist who empowers business owners with the skills and strategy to grow their business using Facebook. Facebook saved her business. She went from a broke business owner in a new country with 3 kids under 5 years old to now abundant in business using Facebook. She now empowers business owners who have no marketing budget to create an income-producing strategy using Facebook. Chantal teaches business owners how to stand out and get found, generate and convert leads, create compelling content, sell their products or services, monetize their groups, run successful events, create Facebook Lives, run online programs, network online, and grow their business, all using organic, unpaid Facebook. Wow.
I'm exhausted listening to you.
Oh, Lord. Chantal was voted top 100 coolest companies in Australia 2018, received 2 bronze medals at the Stevie International Business Awards for out-of-the-box marketing for startups, and has been featured on Channel 9 News. Welcome, Chantal.
Thank you so much for having me.
We need to take a breath after that.
I know, it's huge. The good news is that if you have a Facebook strategy, you don't have to do all those things. You only have to do the things that are relevant to you, get your business and you getting results. So
Absolutely. No, that was fantastic. And that's a really interesting, extensive bio. So we can learn so much about you. But maybe give us a little bit of an insight into Chantal and what's your story and what have you been focusing on these days?
Yeah, sure. No worries. Well, like I said, I moved from South Africa 11 years ago and, I'm not a marketer. I was a business owner. I did have my own PT business in South Africa and everybody knew me. So that was okay. But moving to a new country where nobody knows you, and I had 4-year-old twins and a 1-year-old baby. And my husband at the time actually got made redundant. So there was that chance that we would have to then go back to South Africa. And I literally started to do what anybody does, and that is play on Facebook. But what I realized was that Facebook was actually a good way to connect with people, to build relationships, and actually to build a business. And that is what I did out of absolutely pure necessity. So completely self-taught initially. I have gone on to get my diploma since then because I wanted that extra certificate behind me. But it's not. What's really cool is that it's not me. I'm not a marketer. I'm not like this. If I can do it, anybody can do it. That's basically the point I'm trying to make, is that if I taught myself, I can teach you and I can show you the tricks, the tips, the tools, so that I can save you the stress and the overwhelm.
Fantastic. I'm sure everybody will be thrilled to hear that. Now, we're going to be talking about all sorts of stuff today, but in particular, I can't wait to get later on to talk about the 9 ways to grow your Facebook page without spending any money. That's already rings for me. But before we get to that, I just kind of want to take a step back and maybe just talk about Facebook in general. I mean, why do we even need a Facebook page?
Well, unfortunately or fortunately, the world has evolved, and now the new way of marketing is online. So we've basically got a decision to make as business owners. One, we can either ignore it and completely act like it's not happening and say, no, I don't want to do that. Or alternatively, we can jump on board, embrace this whole new way of doing things and really empower ourselves with the skills and strategy to do it successfully. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to who's going to get the client. Is it going to be your competitor or is it going to be you? Yep. And the person who's going to get the client is the one who knows how to use Facebook best.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and what about ads? Everybody's talking about ads. Do they work? Don't they work? People are spending money. A lot of people say, oh, they're not working for me. I'm not getting my return. What's your spin on ads these days?
Well, look, to tell you the truth, I've I have generated and grown all the businesses that I've worked with organically using free Facebook. And a lot of people will say, oh, the algorithm, it's dead, it doesn't work. But I really think that people are more likely to use Facebook ads because they want a quick fix. Yeah. They go, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm wasting time. They set up a page and they look at it, nothing happens. Then they go and spit some content onto it and they go, oh, nothing happened. I didn't get clients. Yeah. And then they go, you know what, I'll get my wife, my daughter, my girlfriend, and we'll give it to them and let them do it. Or we'll get a VA and get them to do it.
16-year-old niece or whatever.
Yeah, they've got a Facebook account. I'm sure they know how to use it. Yep. And they go and spit all over Facebook and they go, still it doesn't work. Oh, it must be because I'm not spending money on ads. So I'm just going to throw money at advertising. And unfortunately, it doesn't work because they don't have the Facebook fundamentals in place. And if you don't have the fundamentals in place and you don't have the foundations done packed, and if you don't understand the full capabilities of the platform, and if you haven't actually sat down and worked out what you're hoping to achieve and what your actual strategy is going to be or your actions going to be to get that result, your ads are just not going to work. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how much money you throw behind it. So many people who are wanting the quick fix go, yeah, we're just going to throw money at it. And we're just going to not even have to have a phone call with anyone. And they're just going to buy like my $5,000 program. And I'm not going to even have to see them. And it doesn't work like that. It's all about relationship. It's all about trust building. And it can all be done online, which is super convenient. You don't have to door knock. You don't have to print flyers and go and, walk the streets. The new way of doing it is online and you can do it successfully through Facebook. You just got to know how.
Beautiful. And I love the way you said before, I'm not a marketer, but really all the stuff you're talking about here is the psychology and principles of marketing. I mean,
ooh, yes.
to get something to use Facebook properly, whether you use it with ads or without ads, you have to understand where your audience is, your audience behavior, how interaction works, whether it's online or offline. So this is all the psychology of marketing.
So here's the thing. Yes, it is the psychology of marketing, which is really relationship based because social media is social, which is great. It actually makes it easy for people because it is social. You don't have to try and be anything other than who you are.
Yep.
However, those concepts that you were talking about are business basics. So anybody who wants to be successful in business has to know what they're doing, has to know who they're talking to, has to know like where you can find them, what their problem is, how you solve it, has got to know your price, your pricing and your packaging. And you have to have those business basics down packed before you do anything to be successful in business. And there are many people that are throwing thousands of dollars away on advertising, and yet they haven't even got that down packed yet.
Yeah. Too true. So let's get into the nuts and bolts. I mean, I'll hand it over to you. Give us a little bit of insight into your 9 super tips to grow your Facebook page and your audience without spending any money.
Sure. So I actually came up the other day in my membership group because people were going, well, how do I grow my page? Like I've got my mother on there and I've got my auntie on there, but how do I actually get my page to have my ideal client on there? So I was like, okay, let's come up with these 10 ways, and I couldn't find a 10th one, so it's 9. But I'm going to share it with you today, which is really, really cool. So grab a pen and paper because this is going to be I'm ready.
I'm recording this, don't worry.
But you can grow your page organically and you can get the right people on your page. Now, most people think, like I said earlier, that you're just going to put content out on your page and something's going to happen. All of a sudden, everyone's going to come to your page. It doesn't quite work like that. The algorithm is, I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to talk a little bit about the algorithm first.
That's great. I'd love to hear about the algorithm.
Yeah, because the A word, everyone like the A word. Oh my gosh. But yeah, the A word is the algorithm, and how we can outsmart that algorithm is understanding how it works. Yep. So when we put the right things into Facebook, Facebook starts to stalk us and starts to get an understanding of who we are and what we're into. Yep. And then when other people are online searching and they putting their data in, Facebook goes, oh, you're a match, and starts putting us in front of each other. Yep. And that's basically how the algorithm works. Like Facebook's the biggest stalker ever. Right. So that's how the algorithm works. So now if we have our Facebook profile and we haven't set it up, and I'm talking about our personal profiles,
Yep.
if we haven't set it up properly and we haven't set up our page properly, then when we go and we post stuff on our business page, the algorithm is going to be confused because it's going to kind of have a mixed understanding of who you are and what you're hoping to achieve. And that comes down to making sure that our content on our page is obviously relevant. So content's one small piece of the pie. And the algorithm's another piece of the pie. But today we're talking about how do we then grow our Facebook page without having to pay for it.
Right.
So my number one is we want to invite our friends to be fans on our page. But then we also have to look closely at who our friends are, because our friends may not necessarily be, our ideal clients. So depending on your level of privacy on your personal profile, you also want to consider who are you also allowing onto your friends list on your personal profile. Now, they may not necessarily ever buy from you, but potentially they could be people who have the same clients as you or would refer clients to you, or they're your cheerleaders, people that may never use your services, but know, like, and trust you and will rah-rah and be your cheerleader.
Yep.
So we want to make sure that we invite your friends to like your Facebook page.
And how often should we do that actually?
Well, generally once a week, normally on a Friday, I just go focus on, who for that week. If I go to networking groups, and I don't add everyone to my personal profile as a friend,
Yep.
but I would add people who, as I said, either know, like, and trust me already, or who I'm in front of on a regular basis. So I want to stay forefront of mind with them. And I always talk about friends with benefits.
Yeah.
It's got to be a mutually beneficial relationship. So it's not, it's give to receive. It's not just spamming and taking. It's give to receive. So if I feel like I can add value to their community as well, then I could add them to my personal profile. And then usually on a Friday, I just go onto my business page then, and I send them that request to like my Facebook page. And don't worry, you're not spamming. It literally is a notification where it goes, Chantal has invited you to like her page. Now, a couple of things will happen is, one, somebody will look at it and go, what is this? I don't know what this is. And they'll be too scared to touch anything. Or two, they'll go, yes, I want to. Like, that's great. I'll like the page and I'll go on and have a little stalk. Yep. Or three, they'll just completely miss the notification altogether. And Facebook may send them a little reminder later on in the week and go, hey, listen, Chantal asked you, but that's about as far as it goes. So Facebook will not ask them again.
Gotcha. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. So number two is, when you are putting your content onto your page, the reason we do that is to get engagement. So, but it's also to tell the algorithm what you're into so that it can match you. But people are going to start engaging. And when they do, and they start to put those little emoji faces in, little sad face, happy face, you can actually click on that. And when you click on that, it will show you whether or not those people have already liked your page or not.
Oh.
And then it'll say that you can either, you can actually invite them to like your Facebook page.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Did I teach you something
already?
new?
Yes, that's very cool.
Yes. So you can hover over the little, it might say 5 or 6 people have liked your page or they've engaged. You can hover over it or click onto it. And then from there, it'll give you a list of who's actually who has been invited to like your page. And I must say, sometimes it doesn't work very well. And also just reminding you too that at the time of this recording, that is what Facebook's allowing you to do. So I always remind people that.
This is almost like a manual form of retargeting in a way.
100%. So if somebody has, through another person's engagement, and because of the algorithm, actually come across your post, you can actually say, well, hold on a sec, you liked and engaged that. Would you not actually like to like my page as well?
Oh, I like that. That's very interesting. Okay.
So also, just at this time right now while we're talking, Facebook will let you go back and do a couple. So you can go to the last couple of posts and do it. And then it's going to say to you, you're overusing this feature. So what I encourage you to do is just on a weekly basis to do that, or on a daily, on a weekly, just so that you're not doing massive amounts of that as well.
Gotcha.
Because Facebook doesn't like spam. It's not really spam, as I said. It's just a simple little notification, but yeah, they don't want you overusing features.
Sure.
Because they want you to pay for it. Remember, they're a business.
That's right.
So number 3 is, okay, so we talk about giving in order to get, all right? So we all want to make sure you're engaging in our ideal clients' pages. So, and this is where it's important for you. I'm just pausing because there was loss of connection there. So, so also just to, you want to like and engage in other people's pages as well. So you also want to be cheerleading for other people as well. So your referral partners, people who you collaborate with, you know, for example, I can go into Darren's page and I can comment and I can like and I can share and I can rah-rah and cheerleader for him as my personal profile, and depending on their settings, sometimes as your business page as well. Oh, wow. I, however, personally feel relationships are built better with the direct person. But in certain cases, like with psychologists or lawyers, depending on who they are and if they've got any privacy issues, like if they've got DVOs or protection orders in place or anything like that, some people don't wish to use their personal profile for that. But I can teach you ways around that as well. So a lot of people want to engage as the page, but it is important to know the person behind the page because people do business with people, especially if it's a coaching business and you are working directly with that person. So yes, you want to go in and you want to make sure that in order to stay forefront of mind, you're also actually liking and engaging in their page and sharing their content as well.
Gotcha. Perfect.
Number 5 is collaboration. So exactly what Darren's doing right now. So we might go, well, you know what? My ideal clients and the clients that I work with are your ideal clients. So you know what? If I get Chantal on my podcast, she can come in and now I'm now going to be in front of her audience. She's going to be in front of my audience. Absolutely. So now we can share and we can do a collaboration and then we can actually share each other's content across our pages. So another way to do this is guest lives on each other's pages. Remembering that.
What's a guest live? I haven't heard of that.
A guest live. So for example, I can go live on your page. You could say to me, Chantal, on Friday, I would love it if you could come onto my page and you could be a guest expert on my page. So I often do guest expert lives on pages where each week I will go in on a regular time and I could present each week 15, 20 minutes at a regular time. I could present on your page, remembering my call to action is going to be come and like my Facebook page.
Gotcha.
And if Darren said, oh, look, I'd love to come and do a guest expert on your page, then I could allow him to do that on my page. So you can give them admin rights to your page. Be very careful though, because if they don't know what they're doing, they could delete your page.
Oh, no.
And they can do it. And what I like to do is I like to set up a social media responsibility form between the two people so that there's a clear guideline of, remember I said, friends with benefits.
Yeah.
This is what my expectation is. I'll do this if you do this, and it's mutually beneficial for both of us. So we don't have one person who is taking advantage of the relationship or not fulfilling their part.
And so that you can actually promote and make it like a show or an event on your page.
A regular event. Yes, for sure. A regular event.
That's fantastic. Wow, it's amazing.
That's part of the strategy. Oh. So number 6 is you want to make sure that you are also taking your page and putting it in front of the right people. So on Facebook, there are groups, there are communities. And like you said, Darren, you have to know who your ideal client is and you've got to know where they are on Facebook. And then you've got to be able to share relevant, engaging content and put it in front of them inside the groups. Now, what we have to understand is groups are run by administrators and they have rules, okay?
Yes.
And they usually, the rules are set up in the description or an announcement or on a pinned post. And we want to make sure that we follow those rules. We do not want to disrespect those groups or communities. And also, we don't want to waste our time in groups or in communities that are actually dead or not working. Yep. So it is important for us to take our page URL and say to people, this is what I do. This is the problem I solve for you. This is what makes me different over everybody else. This is what I'm passionate about. Or even to share your success stories or social proof or testimonials and let people know what it is that you do and say, here, you can like my page. A lot of the groups as well will have certain days where you can actually hashtag, they'll do a thread. And in that thread, you can actually go in and say like for like. Now, really, some people insist that if I like your page, you must like my page. I really believe that only if you feel like it's something that as again, friends with benefits, it's going to be mutually beneficial that you're going to like that page. So, but again, you follow those rules. So make sure you read the descriptions of those rules. You follow their hashtag themes. You do not use hashtags on Facebook. However, group administrators use hashtags to be able to control the content in the group. So it's not a Facebook thing. Right. It's actually just a group administrators thing to use hashtags.
Right. So in general, does Facebook not use hashtags in general? Is that what?
No, you don't have to use it. Facebook is exactly like Google. You can go in and you can just say podcast. I don't have to say hashtag podcast to find it. Wow. Whereas on Instagram, you have to use hashtag podcast to find hashtag podcast. And LinkedIn, you've got to use hashtag whatever to find that. Facebook, you don't. I can just put in the word. I was in Bali when Mount Agung was about to blow, and I literally could put in Mount Agung, and anybody posting about Mount Agung, it came up. I don't have to go hashtag Mount Agung to find out.
I see.
And I could see people who were there taking photos and see what was actually happening at the time. So I knew if it was a threat for me or not.
And just a quick question on that. So like when you're doing a post, at the end of it, I see sometimes people still using hashtags and things like that. But
you don't have to. You don't have to do it. And it's actually against like Facebook standards. It's not part of their values or the way that they run it. The reason you are seeing it is because they're cheating and they're posting on Instagram and they're just getting it to go straight from Instagram to Facebook. And although Facebook and Instagram are now belong to the same company, you have to respect platforms. So Instagram are hashtags, Facebook are not hashtags. So by doing that, you're actually again stunting the algorithm, but not doing the right thing.
Gotcha. So then in general, if you're posting about anything, if someone automatically just types in that subject, your post will appear without even using the hashtag.
Yeah, and it also comes down to 100%. And it also comes to, it's exactly like Google, how you come up higher in the search engine is, do you tick the boxes? Do you have your Facebook personal profile set up properly? Do you have your business page set up properly?
Gotcha.
Are you posting consistently? Do you have reviews? Is your response rate good? So, these are the things that are going to help you to be at the top. And you'll come up at the top. You'll also come up in Google as well. You just have to remember to go into your settings on Facebook and tick a little box that says, allow outside search engines to search for you in Facebook.
All right. Okay. Fantastic. Love it.
Which most people don't know about, because that came about a while back when Zuckerberg got a rap on the knuckles for immediately just allowing that to happen. So people don't know that they've actually got to go into settings and tick that little box so that they can allow outside search engines like Google to actually bring them onto Facebook to show their Facebook content.
Love it.
Yeah. So we've got number 7. So number 7 is we also want to make sure that we do it on our newsletters. So we want to take our Facebook URL and in our newsletters to our database, we want to be sending it out and we want to be pointing people to our page.
Yes.
Now remember, people aren't going to go there unless there's something in it for them.
Yep.
So you're going to say, hey, listen, I'm posting my top tips on how to grow your page organically on Facebook. I'm going to share with you how to run unpaid competitions using Facebook. I'm going to share with you how to tick that little box so that outside search engines can actually find you. And people in the newsletter will go, okay, and they're then going to go through and be sent to your Facebook page, which is going to stimulate your algorithm and your traffic to your page. So we want to be pointing people to the page, and we're going to do that via newsletter as well.
Right, perfect.
And reminding people, obviously, to leave reviews on your page as well, not to just go on and look for content, but if they have engaged your services, to also leave you a review, because that's important.
And something that I do, I mean, this could be a little bit naughty as well, but something that I do is if I have another platform, I will sometimes promote another platform audience or community on the other platform. And I know that obviously every platform doesn't want you to leave their environment, but I do get reasonable traction sometimes with people seeing that and doing that. So it's obviously still done to a point.
Yeah, look, a lot of people freak out and they go, oh my gosh, don't put outside links. I mean, I had one particular person who was like, why have you, put your website link to go to your blogs? And I'd done a blog and said, if you want to read the rest of the blogs, they're over there. Look, I don't do it all the time. If you do it occasionally or whatever, like it's going to be still beneficial and you're still going to be able to get that traction. So some people get a little bit too pedantic and they get too like crazy with this. you don't, as long as you're doing a lot of all the other stuff as well and ticking all those other boxes.
Yeah. Okay.
It can work for you too. So then we've got number 8, and number 8 is our face-to-face meetings and contacts. You know, if we go to a speaking event, are we saying, hey, get out your phones?
Yep.
Please, could you jump onto my Facebook page? Please, could you give me a like? If you enjoyed today's event, please, could you leave me a review?
Yep.
You know, that's another way for you to be growing your Facebook page. And so many of us actually forget in our face-to-face interactions. And when we go to, for example, networking groups, we forget to do that. We forget to say, please, can you check in at this event? You know, you want to, again, in your face-to-face connections, you want to be sending people to your page. And again, tell them why, what's in it for them.
Yep.
So for example, if you're a gym, you don't want to say, go onto my Facebook page because, yeah, we teach you how to lose weight and get fit. But if I said to you, hey, jump onto my Facebook page because every week we share fat-burning recipes. We share at-home workouts. We share like the tips and tricks to like losing weight quickly. Yep. And how to gain muscle quickly. People are like, yeah, I better go on and I better keep checking because they are sharing stuff that I'm going to want to see.
Wow. Okay. And can you know how on LinkedIn you can go and use that functionality, connect with everybody nearby? Can you do that on Facebook as well, or is it different?
No, that's a LinkedIn feature. However, they do have face recognition. So what I like to do, and if you saw from my meeting this morning, is I always take a big picture of the entire room at a networking group because face recognition will pick up everyone and actually start to automatically tag them. So I just go through the list and I just have a look and I start to tag them. And it does depend on whether or not they've actually ticked that little box in face recognition to allow it or not. But I do encourage you to actually have your face recognition on, because if somebody is hacking your profile or duplicating or stealing your profile or images, at least Facebook will warn you.
Right. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah. So, and my last one is ask a friend.
Yeah.
So if you've got friends with benefits and, you know, you're part of a networking group or referral group and you're referring clients to one another, you could ask them to go onto your page. So I could say, hey, Darren, could you jump onto my Chantal Gerardy Facebook strategist page? And Darren, down the right-hand side, when you scroll down, there's a little button called invite friends. Right. Could you click on invite friends? And if there's anyone on your friends list that you feel may get value out of my Facebook page, could you please just tick that little box and send them a little invite? I'd really appreciate that. Again, that's a mutually beneficial relationship for people. So yeah, that's a really good one. And again, you want to be a little bit careful about selecting all and just inviting everyone, because really what you want is a strong working algorithm, meaning that your ideal client is on your page. And I'll give you an example with a plumber, for example. So we got a plumber, obviously, well, it's not obviously because nowadays there's so many female plumbers, but the male plumber and the wife and the daughter do the social media. So the wife and the daughter are going, and the daughter's 20 years old, the wife's 40 years old, and they go in and they're inviting all their friends to like the page. Obviously then on the page, there's going to be a whole bunch of 20-year-old girls and a whole bunch of 40-year-old women. It's important for the plumber, who's a male, who does a lot of networking and goes out and he's the face of the business. It would be important for him to make sure that his friends are on that page as well. Gotcha. So we have to look at our insights and go, well, when you look at your demographics and you look at who's actually on your page, who your fans are and who's engaging, we want to make sure it is actually our ideal client. And if it's not, we want to make sure we start getting those people on there.
Beautiful. And you know what's fascinating about this is, I'm just thinking, this is really, it's so logical and it's common sense. It's basically doing what people did before there was digital media, but it's doing it using digital media, and it's allowing you a larger reach. It's just that we have to remember that we should be doing all these little things. It's good old-fashioned networking, but done digitally. That's all
100%. It is. It's still relationship building. It's still getting, building your personal brand and getting your name out there. You just don't have to get off your bum. You can literally just do it from your computer phone.
In your PJs, you don't have to move. Or at 5 o'clock in the morning, whenever you like to do it. Yeah.
I can't wait for winter. I'm going to be in my onesie all the time.
Yeah, I love it. Fantastic. So, you know a hell of a lot about this stuff. Saying that, people like us that, are doing other things as well and, we're using this as part of a social media strategy. How often do we need to be spending on Facebook? I mean, or should we allocate different tasks, of these 9 different tips? Should we allocate them to different times of the week, or should we get on and do everything once a week or twice a week? Or what do you suggest?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. And look, it does differ for every single business. It differs because people come to you at their different stages of their business. And for me, I say to everyone, once you have the strategy in place, it's going to be 20 minutes a day. Right. It should take you 20 minutes to get on and do what you need to do. You do have to have this shiny light syndrome bubble around you, where you go on and you just focus on what you need to be achieving. So you need to be quite disciplined. Everyone says to me, "Oh, Chantal, you must spend hours and hours and hours on Facebook." And I'm like, I get on. And sometimes, even my family and friends go, "You didn't even comment or like my stuff or see anything." I'm like, I literally get on, I do what I need to do, and I get off, and we have to be disciplined. We just have to. And I always compare this to alcohol. And I go, remember in the olden days when alcohol came out, everybody got so drunk and used to fall all over the place. And then they realized, well, hold on a sec, we've got to be a bit disciplined, with how much we drink. It's the same with social media. Social media came out, everyone was on it all the time. And like, now hold on a sec, we have to be disciplined. But all those things I spoke about earlier, about all the different capabilities of Facebook, like, every business owner doesn't have to do everything. And unfortunately, what happens is they hear about everything. They hear about groups, public and private, and they hear about pages, and they think they must have multiple. And they hear about, networking online, and they hear about all these things. And, Facebook Live, do a Facebook Live every day for 30 days. That's my favorite one. And it's like, do a Facebook Live every day for 30 days. And you've got like a camera shy person who doesn't even know what they're selling or who they're selling it to. Everyone doesn't have to be doing everything. You only need to be doing the one thing that's actually going to create income for you. So not just friends, but actually generate an actual paying income for you. And that's so important. And the other thing is, you don't have to be scared of it, because you don't need to do what you don't feel comfortable doing. If you want to have a private personal profile, like, you can set it up. We can show you how to use it, and you can still have that. Yes, it's going to change the dynamic of how you're going to be able to get clients, but we'll work with you and show you what the best way to do that is. If you're going to have a very public profile and you want to do lives all the time, that's great. We'll show you that strategy and we'll teach you how to use that. But, you're going to have a reputation and crisis management in place, because you open yourself up to trolling and bullying. So, that's true. That's another story. So whatever it is, it's not one size fits all. And the good news is you can do whatever you feel comfortable with and follow one simple strategy to get an actual result. You just got to work out what that strategy is for your unique business.
Absolutely. And you have to be very disciplined, as you say, and ruthless with your time, and get in there, do what you have to do, and then move on. Don't get caught up with Facebook all day long.
Yeah, 100%. One of the things is that in the first sort of first module that I have, it's a time management and productivity tool that we use, because as entrepreneurs, we all get shiny light syndrome. So we just start looking at this and looking at that, or we start effing around, and we start getting all fluffy, and we don't want to do that. Like, we want to be efficient. And so what I say to people is that if you had a boss and the boss came in and said, you've got 20 minutes, and in 20 minutes, I want you to connect, grow the page, reach out, get me some speaking events and podcast events and whatever, and you've got 20 minutes to do it, or you're fired. Guess what? You would do it. Like, you would have to do it. You would just get on and you do it. But because we're entrepreneurs, we go, I'll just go and have a coffee with a mate, and I'll jump into Messenger and I'll start messaging everybody, and and we stay off task. So you just got to set a time, and you just got to go, this is what I've got to do. But the good news is that when you have a strategy, it's an action plan, and you actually know what you're doing. So you just go, this is what I've got to do. It's not like, oh, should I do this? Should I do that? It's like, I know what to do. I know it gets results. So I'm happy doing it.
100%. It's almost like, I'm the same. Like, I get up every morning early now, and I spend a good hour and a half doing all my social media.
Yeah.
And then it's done for the day. And then I might jump on in the afternoon, do another half an hour, or, intermittent a couple of posts here and there. And then it's working for me during the day, because that's the nature of social media. So I'm trying to be very disciplined in how I work with social media, because I've recognized that it's a really important part of marketing, and it's an important part of my business, but there's other things to do as well. So I have to be really careful with my time.
Yeah, 100%. And you know what? Sometimes people people are doing all the right things, but too many of the right things, and it becomes confusing and overwhelming for them and for everyone else.
Definitely.
Or alternatively, they're doing it all in the wrong order.
Yep.
And they're actually confusing the whole issue, or they're doing things that they're not ready for in their business just yet. And
True.
that's why it's not working.
True. Very
Yeah,
true. I mean, that is amazing. I mean, those 9 tips alone will keep me going for the next 9 years until Facebook changes something. And that's the other interesting question. I mean, how often do these features and algorithms keep changing?
They always adjust them slightly, but I always say to everyone, it's kind of like your teenage daughters, because I've got 3 of them now.
Yeah.
And you know what? On any given day, some days they're like, "Rawr," and the other days they're like, "Rawr," but at the end of the day, they're the same person. So you can understand that their values are always the same. Yeah. They don't want spamming. They want genuine relationships. They want freedom of speech, but they want mutual respect. They want respect and courtesy. So if you understand all those principles, even when they adjust the algorithm, it makes sense. When they do things now, I'll go, for example, the latest thing is you can't share a post from your business page to your personal profile. Okay?
Yes. And even the tagging doesn't work. You can't even tag from one to the other.
Yeah, so when you go and you try, and because you just literally got to copy paste it, and they do stunt the algorithm slightly when you duplicate content, but it's only slightly. So you just got to be careful how often you do that, and you've got to tick all the right other boxes. But what happens is that so when that happens, I go, okay, well, why did they do that? Like, okay, spamming, duplicate content. I understand they don't want that. They want a business page which focuses on your business, and your personal profile is on your personal profile. And they also don't want you using your personal profile, because personal profile is unpaid. They don't make any money off personal profile. So if I just try and rationalize it, I can go, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. But they also can't stop you from building relationships on your personal profile. And that's what I think it should be an important part of your strategy, is developing those relationships on your personal profile.
Oh, definitely. To me, that's one of the best ways to bring people to your Facebook page, is build them personally and then invite them, as you say, one of your 9 steps. 100%. That's a very powerful thing. A lot of people forget about that.
Yeah, your personal profile is about you, the person, but what you do in business is about you, the person. So it's important to remind people and say, hey, look, I think I put it up the other day. I've just put up a green screen. I'm so excited, and I can share that on my personal profile and let people know. Yeah. But on your business page, it's the same thing. It's about your business. But what people forget to do is they forget to put themselves on their business page. And then they start to lose on that relationship building. It's important for you to put, it's back to school now. I can't wait to get back into, a normal routine, and put that personal stuff. People would think that that's a personal thing, but it can work so well on your business page as well, because you're identifying with your clients as well.
Definitely. It humanizes your brand. And it also, as you say, people do business with people. People want to know who's behind the logo or the sign. So
definitely.
It's really important. And video is the next frontier. So obviously Facebook Live has come out, and who knows what else will come out. But video is the next frontier. And that, again, one of the best tools we have to personalize your brand and humanize your brand.
Yeah, I think with the whole video thing as well, people putting a lot of pressure on themselves because they feel like because video is the thing, it's that everyone must go out and now be able to do videos. But videos can make or break your brand. Yeah. If you don't do it well, and I'm not talking about well in that you have like $1,000 camera and have all the equipment, but I'm talking about more about the key messaging and the content, and again the whole strategy of who you're putting in front of, who's viewing it, is it a benefit to them, what are you selling them into? Like, if you don't have that whole strategy down packed, you could potentially be diminishing your brand.
That's true.
So it is important to go, well, if I am using video, that's great. Like, if I'm going to be that person, I'm going to do it. I need to still step back and go, well, how am I going to do it successfully?
Definitely. And I suppose, as you say, it boils down to what are you strongest at, and just leverage your strengths.
Yeah. There's a lot of people who don't want to be on video, and I say to them, you don't have to be. There's other ways to do it. You could just, today I just got a whole bunch of content calendars for a workshop I'm doing tomorrow, and I didn't want to be on video today and do like a live, so I literally just showed my content calendar, and I just showed my hands with my content calendar. You don't have to, you don't have to do what you don't feel like doing. It's okay.
Yeah, too true. I love it. Excellent. So Chantal, I want to talk before we finish up, just want to talk a bit more about you and your business. I mean, yourself, you are living in Queensland, is that right?
Yep, I'm on the Gold Coast.
Gold Coast, beautiful, the lovely Gold Coast. And you work Australia-wide?
Yeah, worldwide actually.
Worldwide, wow.
Yeah.
And so do you do that remotely or face-to-face as well? And
Yeah, look, I work luckily through Zoom, which is absolutely amazing. Sometimes actually through Facebook Messenger as well. Believe it or not, sometimes the signal is actually better through Facebook Messenger.
Oh, wow.
And then on top of it, I also have an online program too. And then I've got businesses who actually then will also fly me to their offices if they want me to do in-house training with their team. So I often travel around. So I'm coming to Sydney soon.
Lovely, how exciting.
Yeah.
And you, obviously you do work face-to-face, you do a lot of consulting, but you also have online videos and online tutorials and programs as well.
Yeah, so basically how I implement my 3 programs is my one program is your do-it-yourself Facebook marketing program and do-it-yourself Facebook advertising program, which is an online program. It's completely self-paced. People get to work through 15 to 20-minute videos where I physically show them what to do from the foundation, from the bottom up. Awesome. And on top of it, it includes 8 weeks of group training in my mastermind group. So you do actually get face-to-face with me as well for 8 weeks, which is pretty cool. And then my second program, which is I called it my Phone a Friend program, because it's the online program, but it's those people who want accountability and support, and they literally, when they get stuck on the online, they just want to be able to phone a friend, and people can book in for a 1-hour consult, and I'll get them on track, make sure that they are on track. If they're stuck with anything, make sure that we identify what's holding them back, and make sure that they just are on track to actually achieving results. And then my final package is my hand-holding package, which are those people who want their hand held, for an entire year. And they have a few different online programs. They've got a few different strategies in place. Potentially have sometimes a small team or WAGs, so wife and girlfriends, who are doing their Facebooking for them, and need some training as well. So it's normally team training. It's normally accountability. Often people will fly me in to do face-to-face in that case as well, and the rest is done online. But yeah, they want me to hold their hands the whole way through that process. So that's basically the three ways that I do my programs.
Sounds like you're a busy lady.
Yep, love it. Absolutely love it.
That is amazing. So if people want to find you, what are the best links and details to find you?
Yeah, sure. Obviously connect with me on Facebook. So Chantal Gerardy, and yes, you'll have to get the spelling for that, because
that's Gerardy for everybody out there.
Yeah, excellent. And yeah, connect with me on Facebook personally and on my Facebook page. And you'll notice that on my Facebook page, it's Facebook spelt with FACEBK. And the reason is Facebook won't let me use the word Facebook. Oh. So I had a printer say to me, "You spelt it wrong." And I said, "No, I haven't." And then on top of it, my website is www.chantalgerardy.com.au. And I'd encourage you to subscribe, because there's heaps of valuable content on that website. But if you subscribe as well, like if anything changes in the algorithm, or if there's any little tips, tricks, or anything else that's coming up, or if I'm actually visiting your town or city, like as I said, I'm going to Sydney real soon, then you can connect with me and have a coffee with me when I'm there. So that'll be awesome.
Awesome. Well, Chantal, thank you so much. You're a Facebook superhero. You know a hell of a lot. And I think for all the guests out there, I mean, we only probably touched the surface of what they could do. So if anybody's looking for someone to really help them with their Facebook strategy, both strategically and tactically, Chantal is your girl. And Chantal, thank you once again for coming on the show. It's been so much fun. And, hopefully we can do another one.
It's been amazing. Thanks so much.
Awesome. And to all the listeners out there, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you soon with another episode. Bye for now.